Yeah, I can see that this being you know a long drawn out affair, you know, because of precisely the issues that you're discussing here. You know, it's not just about the pandemic being over; it's the recovery period. You know, the sort of ripple effect after that. I guess. Just bringing it back to sort of the actual industry itself, and I guess this ties in with sort of clients meetings and things like that. Obviously, so much of this industry, you know, so many times we've met, you know, before has been at trade shows around the world. You know, you know, obviously that had an effect. But what are your thoughts on sort of the replacement of these with digital trade shows? You know, have they been any use? Have they been any good at all, or is it just not the same in this industry? You know, or are they really good and you think they'll be here to stay? Ray, what do you think?
You know, I don't participate in digital trade shows. It's the same as like I think you and Shaun have known me for a long time. I'm also not an inside guy. I don't like being on the phone. I prefer not to do meetings over a camera if I can avoid it. I want to be in your office. And so I just haven't participated. Now, yeah. I've asked my customers, who in a lot of cases are major OEMs, how that's gone for them. And overwhelmingly, I hear not that great.
Yeah.
So but I think Shaun has participated more than I have, so he's probably better.
Yeah, sure. What are your thoughts, Shaun?
Absolute waste of time. No offense to anyone.
Tell it like it is.
As usual.
Exactly. Yeah, but tell us what you really think, Shaun.
So we've tried it multiple times, and it's produced nothing. We have to have somebody basically sitting online all day, hanging around, waiting. We recently received from one of our suppliers about 30 leads from a digital trade show. None of them answered. Most of them said they weren't interested because they're not the buyers and they don't know why they're being contacted. So, I mean, as much as I'd like to say it's a great idea for us, it's just not worked out. And we're not going to spend our time or money on it in the future at all, period. There's not, it's not the same as a real trade show is completely different than, you know, a virtual trade show. They just don't work for us. And I'll be honest, everyone else I've spoken to that our partners and suppliers have all said the same thing, basically.
That's really good insight. You know, great to know. You know, I guess great is the wrong word, right? But that's you know, good to know these things aren't effective, so they're not here to stay. You know, we're looking forward to getting back to things like the Vision Show, you know, Stuttgart, Boston, you know, etc. Right? So, yeah. Is there any?
To be honest, Alex, you know, it takes us 2 or 3 days to set up our booth. You've seen our booth, the size of it.
Yeah.
It would be very nice if a digital trade show works because I wouldn't have to spend 3 days and thousands of dollars bringing equipment. So, you know, it's just not the case.
We've recently seen there's sort of this emergence now of these small tabletop shows because there's a handful of organizations that have the I'm looking for a word that's not offensive, bravado, to actually have in-person events.
Yeah.
And they're doing these small tabletop shows. Well, my tabletop booth takes less than an hour to set up. It costs me generally less than $1,000 to participate in these things. And the people that are going to these tabletop shows that are willing to show up in person, risk maybe getting sick, are there because they're very serious about doing business. These other major organizations that have said, well, we can't do it. It's too dangerous. It's too risky. Hey, you know, my attitude is have a show, make it a small one for those of us who still want and need to do business and see other people. Don't, as an organization that we contribute to, that we support, that we have participated in for 20 plus years in Shaun's case, don't just sit on your hands and wait for this to go away forever, because I think this is going to be around for a while, so we have to get used to doing business this way. At a last event I went to, there was a speaker that, believe it or not, I went to an in-person event recently. A speaker got up and he started talking about the death of the outside salesperson. And I turned to the guy next to me, who also happened to be an outside salesperson, and I said, well, the world needs sheep too. We have to go out and see people. And I could tell you that it's worked well for us forever. And, you know, our 3 rules are see the people and the second rule is see the people, and if that doesn't work, you go to rule number 3, which is see the people. And when the and it's not just Europe, it's the Americans too. But
Yeah.
you know, you look now, I see the Chinese are throwing their shows, big shows.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see some small shows come up in the US. But you know, we hear about the shows in Europe, people are like, yeah, I don't know. We're a little worried about that. And I don't know what's going on with the Vision show this year yet, Shaun, do you?
It's been postponed again, I believe.
Yeah.
But I will say, Ray, to your point about the tabletop show, so that the AIA show out there in California, you did it the year before last, and I did it the last time, which was last year. Michael from Kaya and I did it, and that tabletop show is actually pretty good. We get some really great traction, some great leads, and some business out of it. And like you said, it took us maybe an hour to set up our stuff on a table, and we put a banner up behind it, whatever, stuff like that. But it actually turned out to be way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And the value is there. You know, if we do when we do the Vision show in Europe, that by the time we get our guys there, our gear, the marketing, that's close to $100,000 commitment. When you sell products that cost $25 a piece, you got to sell a whole lot of them to justify a show like that. Tabletop shows are a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's good. That's really interesting insight. You know, they're on both, you know, what's happened, you know, from the industry and these so-called solutions that seem like a good idea in a marketing room, but obviously in reality, you know, it's just not coming through. Then, okay, all right.